Hi, Miriam with you today, and I'm sharing with you an album kit and storage unit from Lisa Horton Crafts at That Crafts Place. And the kit comes unassembled, the unit itself is made with MDF, and the albums are some very thick and heavy grey board. Very easy to put together, definitely didn't need instructions, which was brilliant, and everything glued really quickly and just fitted together really nicely to make quite a sturdy unit. So to make or decorate my storage unit, I've gone with the colours I love, which are Paper Artsy Fresco Finish acrylic paints, and I've used Mermaid, which is this lovely blue, and also Midnight, which is the darker blue. I've also used Distress ink to give it a more grungy and aged feel, and I've also got, and I don't know how well you can see this in the camera, but some lovely crackled elements all around the unit as well. And I've teamed that with lots of white splatters and just spots of paint, and just done what I love and what made me feel happy. The main element of the design though, these wonderful stamps, they're called In the Loop, and they're a new design from Lisa Horton Crafts. And as you may know, if you follow me, I absolutely love circle stamps, so these were perfect. The stamp itself is a really large stamp, however I chose not to mount her on an acrylic block, as I just like that extra just rough feel really, where it's unfinished when I stamp it, and on some elements you only get part of the circle, but the stamp itself, which I will show you, is actually quite a large stamp. So this is the set, and you get this wonderful big stamp, then you get lots of smaller circles to go with it, and there are some lines and some dots and a few sentiments as well, which are really useful. There's a die to go with it, which is really helpful, and as you can see, that's a very large stamp, and the quality of the stamp is fabulous. I've tried it with so many different medias already. I've used ink, I've used paint, I've stamped into UT, I've literally tried everything I can. I've embossed with it, and given a really hard workout really. And yes, I might still have a little bit of stain on the stamp, but it stamps perfectly. It's a really good, thick, quality rubber stamp. So that's enough about the actual stamp set. I'm now going to show you the albums I made. So in the kit you get the actual little bookcase, so to speak, and then you get lots of grey board bits to make the albums, and you get a choice. So you can make 5 small albums, you can make 3 larger albums, which is what I've done here, or you can even mix and match, so you can make a couple of small albums and a large one. It's whatever you want to do really, so there's that great choice for you to make and for you to customise as you want to. What that also means is that after creating all this, I still have plenty of grey board bits to make further albums for myself as well. So what did I do? I'll take out one of my albums. As you can see, there's little notches in the storage unit, which is really helpful because it means I'm not trying to jam my fingers in and pull out the albums and potentially damage some of my work as well. So by having the notches, you literally just pull them out. To decorate my albums, I've used some of the really lovely new Lisa Horton Crafts designer paper. Now Lisa created these from her own designs, and it currently comes in 2 designs of Capri and Barley, and they're absolutely beautiful. And I don't know whether the camera's getting it, but if you look, it actually looks quite a shiny paper, but it's not. It takes ink and paint incredibly well, and it doesn't buckle when it's wet either, so the quality of the paper is really, really good. So it was a pleasure to use those actually. Beautiful, beautiful papers. And I look forward to seeing what Lisa comes up with next. So these are the albums. The grey board's really thick and really sturdy, really simple to put together. In order to construct them, I've used some construction tape underneath, and I've also added a bit of washi. I didn't need to, but I wanted to because I quite like this quite vintage design element here. And then I've decorated them however I've wanted. So this one I've left blank purposely to show you. I've threaded it 3 times for the book pages, for the album pages. I've left that one blank on purpose. Then there's this one. So again, I've put some book plates on them. I've also added an almost faux rust effect on my key. This was actually, and you can see just a tiny bit, it was a very, very shiny silver key. So I'm really pleased with how that's come out. It would have been far too shiny for anything I do really. So add in some, again I've added Paper Artsy Fresco acrylic paints on here in mahogany and terracotta, and they're 2 of the Seth Apter paints. I've used the Wonderful in the Loop stamps again and just stamped them randomly throughout. And then the insides I've made up of different papers, and I guess I wanted this to be almost a junk journal style album, so something I could do whatever I wanted really. And the great thing about this is, even though I've kept my pages quite custom in size, you could do whatever you want. So you can have some narrower pages, you could have some just envelopes in there, and it gives you the ability to create your own design and make something that's customizable for you and for you to use as well. So you can see in here I've got some scraps of watercolour pages. I've also got just some white copier paper, craft papers, etc. And just things that I can use. And the great thing about that is that if I use different mediums in my work, be it writing, painting, colouring with pencils, whatever, the different kinds of paper will react differently to those mediums and will all produce different results. I'm really pleased with how that one's come out. But I've left that one quite blank. And then the 3rd album I've actually decorated a little bit more to show you. So this one I purposely didn't put a book plate on the spine. I wanted to keep this almost as almost like a secret, a private little album, but I've put this gorgeous little jewellery finding on there. And I've put the book plate on the front, and I've called this Memories. So the idea is I'll be able to write in some memories and some notes, and include anything that I want to keep personal to me and keep memorable for me. Again, I've used the In the Loop stamps and these beautiful papers, which all look so different and they're so beautiful. This time again I've used different styles of papers. So I've used my craft, I've also put some glassine. Don't know if you've ever crafted with glassine, but it brings out a lovely different style. I love using paint on these, I love colouring in. So if I stamped an image, for example, and coloured that in with my polychromos, that would be absolutely beautiful. It would just give a different look to my creation really. But I've gone a step further in this book and created little almost faux pockets. And this was really made up with these scraps I had left over after cutting the papers. And you can see here, I've just created little strips that I've glued. And here are some of the new elements from Lisa Horton Crafts again. Absolutely beautiful. And everything works so well together, which I'm sure Lisa thought long and hard about. And it's beautiful first collection. So the idea is I can add little, I don't know, tickets or trinkets from holidays or, you know, concerts, etc. here. I've also included book pages in this one, and I thought that could be easily either painted over if I wanted, or I could use it as the first layer of a scrapbook page, etc. Again, more little holders for any memories and tickets I want to put in. I'll skip some of the pages because some of them I've left blank. I've even used just little bits that are in my scraps box. So this is a bit of a wooden ruler, and again you could easily slip something under there to keep it safe. And I've added again a little flower from Lisa Horton there. And again, this was a scrap from one of my previous projects using one of the new Lisa Horton craft stencils. I just literally glued the scrap down, and again that could be used either as a base or as just decoration for my pages. Just scroll through some of them so you can see what I've done. As I said, I've got some glassine in it. More little trinket holders. And you could use envelopes with these. You can make little pockets on the side. I think I do have one of those in here if I can find it. It gives you so many options to customise it how you want. And that's the beauty of these little albums. You can literally do whatever you want. Oh, here's one. So this is a bigger one which I've left open, and you can slip larger things in there maybe. Could be a cinema ticket, and even just small things. Again, decoration, or use it however you want. Another one there, and so on and so on. So they are my 3 albums, my 3 fat albums, as I call them. And as I said right at the start, you have the opportunity to make, you could fit 5 of the smaller albums in here, or you can customise it however you wish with a mixture of small and large albums to fit here. But I think the storage box is really, really useful. It ties it all in together, and it's something that's quite memorable as well. You could use it as photo albums, however you wish, but I really, really enjoyed this project. I think it all came together really, really well, and yeah, I think I got to the stage where I wasn't sure I liked where I was going, but I think every craft project I ever do, I tend to go through that stage normally at the beginning, when I've started putting everything together, and I think I want to take it all apart. But no, I persevered, and I'm really, really happy with the end result. I think it will be something that I can use and look at and cherish and make a working scrapbook for me as well, which is hopefully my intention. So there you have it, my storage unit and junk album journals, I think I'll call them, based on the kit from Lisa Horton Crafts at That Craft Place. So thank you for joining me, and I'll be back soon with more projects.